Hello explorers and welcome back to the channel. Today you find me on the Slindon estate. Today I'm going to be taking a short walk up to Gumber farm. Just done 3 videos on the old Roman road of Stane Street going from Bignor down to Chichester. Something strange happened when I was filming at Gumber farm. I'll just talk about that as we head off in this direction. So if you're not familiar with the Slindon estate, it's now owned by the National Trust, and originally it was the medieval summer palace for the and grounds for the Archbishop of Canterbury, and it remained this for some time, and eventually one of the owners died and she passed the property and surrounding lands down to the National Trust. So now owned by the National Trust, but quite a rich history beyond that. As I showed you on the map at the start of the video, there is a Roman road that passes through there, which I've just explored, and also there is a place called Gumber Farm. So Gumber Farm is a farm, but in World War II it was used as a dummy airfield. So basically what the British would do is they would construct fake tanks, fake buildings, fake aeroplanes, and they would put them somewhere to distract the Germans. As the Germans were flying, because they were so high up, they couldn't tell that these objects were fake, and so they would either plan bombing missions or bomb these fake objects. So in the grounds of the farmhouse is some bunkers, and the reason I'm going there is that when I filmed the video on Stane Street, well, I'll tell you when we get there. So this time of year, it's always difficult to find subjects to film videos on, just because the bits that I enjoy filming are outdoors in nature, and we're lucky in Sussex to have a lot of that nearby. But we're just coming into winter and we've got a change of season here, so we've got all the beech trees with this lovely yellowy brown colour. So great time to be out walking in nature. So not too much of a walk. I believe it's only a mile and a half from the car park to get to Gumber farm. Some nice trees to look at on the way as well. Almost looks like there's a road going through in that section. Not sure where off to. So the Gumber farm is now a campsite, and you can go online and book your stay here. Something I think I would like to do moving forward. Certainly a nice section of woodland around here with some very old beech trees, just like this one. Interesting thing I've noticed with the beech trees, and I'm not sure whether it is actually a feature, but the big older ones like this tend to drop their leaves before the younger ones. So yeah, we look back at that one there, it's stripped bare of all of its leaves, whereas these younger ones are still hanging on to their and believes. So I just come across this amazing old Sussex barn. Rare to see barns like this left alone. They've normally been converted into very expensive properties. This one still looks like it's actively used. Great to see. Look at the old timbers up there. Absolutely amazing. Wow. So we're not too far away from the Downland and Weald Open Air Museum in Singleton, so not too far away. In that area they have buildings like this, old Sussex barns that they have had to take down due to housing taking up the land, and they take them down brick by brick and then move them over to Singleton. And there's a barn there not too dissimilar to this, but this one looks like it's been extremely well maintained. The timbers inside are obviously very, very old, but this brickwork all looks like it's been redone and the flint's all re-cemented in. The walls of the compound to the back look a lot older. So a short walk on and we finally reached the actual farm cottages of Gumber Farm. I have to say I'm not sure whether they're currently occupied. Possibly are. Being rented out by the National Trust. There was a little cottage down at the start of it that was an active farm. Obviously got some cars there as well, so yeah, people must be in the area, and probably the farmers, but whether they stay there or not I don't know. I do know that some of the previous occupants of the Gumber farm have been there for generations, and you can find some of their YouTube videos showing them using these slopes to sledge down in the snow and the likes of that. So just the National Trust sign there showing you we are on National Trust property. Interesting terracing over on the right. I would imagine that's to help with farming so that the animals aren't constantly on a slope, but it could be a cross dike as well. I did notice in the woods back there were some sort of almost like mounds in the woods. These can sometimes be boundary markers before we had actual fencing. I would imagine they would build them up and then plant on top of them a hedgerow as a boundary. Or it could be that it was an old fence that they made out of wood, and just the sort of piling up of the mud around would strengthen it, and it would grow over time. So here we can see the entrance to the bunker, part of the farm property, and the old Roman road is just that ridge over there where the fence climbs. I was walking across it and saw this structure from the wall, and to be honest I thought the farmer had just been having fun and built his kids a play area or a den. It wasn't until I got home and did a little bit of research later. I realised that, like I said, this was a dummy airfield, so obviously if you were getting bombed by the Germans, you needed somewhere to escape to, and this was it. Also, I think it adds to the authenticity of being an airfield, having a bomb shelter. If you had a load of tanks and planes without any kind of shelter for the soldiers, it would be a bit sus. So as you can probably see, it is still open inside. That's a part of the farm. I'm not going to trespass to have a look, but you can just see through the pipe to the other side. So yeah, quite an interesting little bit of history. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, go back and watch the episode 1, Bignor to Eartham, and the plan for that video was to find the Roman road and walk to Eartham. So that's what I did. But when we got to the tree there, it was quite an interesting one because it had quite an open root pattern. So I stopped to film at the tree, do a bit of B-roll, and also get the drone up in the air, try and get some aerial footage of the road. However, when I was editing, I'm walking down that road using this camera and this equipment, and on the audio there was a large spike, and I thought maybe that's something, I was doing a piece to camera, didn't think much of it, but when it actually got to that big audio spike, there was a very strange sound. I'm going to insert it here so you can make of it what you want. I didn't include the sound as part of that video because I wanted the focus of the video to be the Roman road, and if you've looked at other parts of my channel, I do visit other places in Sussex that have paranormal things going on, but nothing that I was aware of here. Hello again, cows. It's me again. Come back to the tree. Nice to see you. So I'm going to try and hide behind this bush because it's extremely windy, as you can probably tell up here today. No drone footage from this location for that reason. So this is the tree in question, and I was walking past the tree, headed in that direction, just filming a little bit of B-roll. I'm not going to walk out there now because we have a lot of wind and this bush is sheltering me from the wind. But this tree caught my eye because it's hanging on the side of the road, and yeah, this is an old road, 2,000 years old. It's not a 2,000-year-old tree, but it is an old tree. So I did stop and have a look at the root system. I was here for about half an hour filming B-roll, flying the drone, sat and had a drink, had a little bit of rest. So yeah, it's a nice place to stop. Also, the roots provide quite a good little seat as well, so I can imagine lots of people stop and sit here. So just to give you a bit of history in the area, this area had a lot of work carried out in the World Wars, World War I and World War II. The Canadian Army were over here and they were foresting these trees around for the war efforts, yeah, for things like crates, trenches, that kind of stuff. There was a small railway in this area as well. They were taking that much timber out of here. Also believe there was a mill in this area, and in the Second World War there was a German prisoner of war camp here. They were using it, the labour for processing timber. There's also been 4 plane crashes, a DC-3, a Lancaster bomber, a Whitby and a Bristol Beaufighter, with total loss of life from those crashes. And last of all, over in that direction in Eartham Woods, there is a Roman cemetery. Supposedly near the cemetery you can see a Roman centurion walking along the wall. I didn't see one on my visit. So I've spoken to my work colleagues to ask their opinion, and also friends and family, and to me sounds like a human whistle. If I was to try and reproduce it, it would be now I'm wearing a lapel mic with a fluffy on, so it's not a bit of wind going across the microphone. Could also be a bird, but to me sounds like a human whistling at me to try and get my attention. As you can see, we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's not a highly walked pathway. It's not somewhere where people daily come up to walk their dogs. You do have to expel a huge amount of calories to get here. So if you could put down the comments below what you think it is, I'd appreciate that, and hopefully we'll get a consensus in the comments section. Hope you've enjoyed this different type of video. It was great to come and visit Gumber Farm and to see the bomb shelter as well. So yeah, great walk for me. If you could like and subscribe and comment down below, it will help me to make more videos just like this. Thanks for watching.